sports and only sports that we do here on 5 Minutes at the Frat House with Frat House Mike and Sidekick.
Yeah, buddy.
How you doing tonight? Huh? You all right?
A little warm.
A little warm.
Yeah.
Warm. I saw today on Facebook page you're getting all lathered up about that big European bike race, huh?
Oh yeah. Got the Tour de France
starting coming up when
starting next week.
Next week. All right,
they introduced the teams today.
You gonna be doing your updates for us on that one or what?
Sure.
Right.
We'll see how we can work it. Since it's a daily 3-week race, we'll have to see.
Well, you're going to have to do that because I don't know if I can keep on top of that one.
We'll see.
But one thing
I'll at least post updates on the
Facebook page. Yeah. One thing we did keep on top of though was the NBA Finals. And last Thursday night, right here, as we were filming, we were talking about the fact that it was Game 5, and in fact, it never needed a Game 6. Because in the end, the Miami Heat won at home last Thursday evening, 4-1 over the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they beat them pretty convincingly, 121-106.
I order you to be quiet!
Oh, no. We got to go with this. LeBron James led all on the Miami Heat with 44 minutes played and 26 points, while over on the other side, OKC's Kevin Durant countered with 43 minutes and 32 points. In the end, that wasn't enough, though. LeBron was able to deliver his first NBA championship to Miami and was recognized as the MVP of the playoffs.
And in my notes here, I have, yay.
Now, I got to be honest, I was a bit surprised that OKC didn't win more than one game, but nonetheless, despite Sidekick here, we're going to send out our congratulations to the Miami Heat and their fans. Congratulations,
You really
guys.
piss me off.
Well, I'm sorry. Now, listen. Go ahead.
To kind of, interrupt and
jump in.
throw your curveball here. I remember when we first started talking about the NBA season, the shortened NBA season,
yes.
And I don't want to
You
call
can
it a
use
prediction.
my own words against me now.
No.
Right,
I don't want to use a prediction, but you said this shortened season plays to the Miami Heat, and don't be surprised if the Miami Heat get a championship out of
Well, thank
this
you. I
season.
appreciate the fact that you're remembering something positive that I said that turned out to be right. Now, but that's a good segue because many are saying right now that after this, we could be looking at a situation like the Chicago Bulls or the LA Lakers where, in fact, you might be looking at Miami winning season after season after season for the next couple.
No.
And in fact, at this point right now, Miami is already, although I don't put any credence in any of this, already the early favorite to win in 2013. Any thoughts on that one?
Please God, no.
All right, we've talked enough about basketball. Good. Congrats, Miami. We had a race, NASCAR race over this past Sunday on that road course out there in Sonoma, California.
Yes, we did.
And listen, I don't remember you saying anything about Clint Bowyer in your.
I did not. Shocker.
Okay, but nonetheless, Clint Bowyer won for the first time since last autumn when he won the second race at Talladega in the fall. Others who came in the top 5 on Sunday. Tony Stewart came in second. That was the second week in a row he came in second. Maligned Kurt Busch, who had a really good race. Really had a good race.
And I said I would have picked him, but due to his issues this season, I wasn't sure. And
he came in third. Brian Vickers, who has not been running much this NASCAR season, came in fourth. And the hottest driver in the past, now 7 weeks, Jimmy Johnson, came in fifth. So let's go over and see how all of that affected our Sprint Cup leaderboard.
And this is Clint Boyer's first road course win, too.
It is, that's right.
So
that's right.
One of the reasons why he wasn't on the list.
On the leaderboard, how did it affect everything? Matt Kenseth continues to hold on to the #1 spot with 596. Greg Biffle, and there's Greg Biffle and Dale going back and forth, as we talked about before. He took over the second spot from Dale Jr. with 585. Dale Jr. is just 4 points behind him at 582. Jimmy Johnson holds on to the fourth with 571, and now Tony Stewart sneaks up into that fifth spot. Taking over from Denny Hamlin, and Stewart's got 533. And since we were talking about Matt Kenseth and the fact he's up there at the leaderboard, it was announced this week that he would not, or that he would be leaving, he'd not be returning, Roush Fenway Racing as of at the conclusion of this season and for next year. Initially, there was no indication of any future plans. And that kind of leads me to our Frat House Facebook post of the week. Because when the info came down on Tuesday, I immediately posted on our Facebook page, I put up this comment, bit of a shock here regarding NASCAR's Matt Kenseth. Seems to me he must have something working elsewhere. In the meantime, good news for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ricky Stenhouse will be moving up from the nationwide circuit and taking over that car. To all of our FB friends, to that, our FB friend Patty P, whose son Kyle does some racing, responded back. Shocking to me, saw it on South Jersey dirt racing a few minutes ago. Subsequently, Patty and I went back and forth over some posts over the next couple of days. And one of the posts that I ultimately did put up is that apparently it is being reported that now Kenseth will be going over to Joe Gibbs Racing. That's what apparently his plan is. And you and I were talking about this a little bit yesterday, and we were saying, well, you actually brought it up. You said it kind of puts a question mark then on what's going to happen to Joey Logano.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we were talking about, Logano's in his last year, so does Kenseth take the Home Depot 20, or does Gibbs bring in a fourth race car?
Exactly.
Given the economy, it's okay, do we do the fourth race car or not?
Right.
But I think the fact that they announced when they do announce that Kenseth's coming over,
right.
I think it helps Logano if he is out. Because if he was just let go, I don't think a lot of teams would be that quick to jump on it because, he didn't work out for Gibbs.
Right.
Is he really that good of a racer? Do we want him?
This makes it look more like he's a victim of circumstances.
Yeah, like he was kind of kicked. Yeah. He was let go.
Oh, isn't it unfortunate sort of thing? Yeah.
So
exactly. So
we'll have to see.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll play out over the rest of the season.
Now, what happens this week? Well, we've got some Saturday night racing, and I'm on record. I like Saturday night racing. Saturday night we'll be down at the Kentucky Speedway. It's that 1.5 mile oval at the Kentucky Speedway. That'll be covered on TNT starting Saturday night at 6:30. And that leads us to our sidekick. That's our fantasy. What do you got for us this week?
All right, fantasy. Well, let's see here. For fantasy this week, you're going to want to look at the drivers that excel on the cookie cutter racetracks. Can you name some of the cookie cutter racetracks?
No, I can't. You were mentioning them before the show, and I've completely forgotten. Did you say Charlotte was one?
Charlotte is one of them, yes. Atlanta, Charlotte, Texas, Vegas, Chicagoland, and Kentucky. So we're going to go with, this is a bulk of the races during the season. So a lot of teams focus on the cookie cutter courses.
Mm-hmm.
So this week we're going to go with, at the top, Jimmy Johnson. I'm going to, the cookie monster, because he's, over his career, he's, torn up these courses.
Right.
Then we're going to go with Matt Kenseth. He's got 5 top 5s in the last 6 of these type races. We're also going to go with Greg Biffle. He's been perfect in top 5s going back to Texas last fall.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as a wild card, we're going to throw in Carl Edwards. We're just going to round out the Roush Racers this week. He's got 8 top 5s in the last 11 cookie cutter races. A lot of people are going to ask in Junior Nation, why isn't Junior on this list? Junior's good on the courses. This week, unfortunately, Junior's doing well enough this season. His fantasy value is really high, and I don't think it's worth the risk.
Okay, I got you. Right.
For the money that you're going to spend on him this week, when some of these other drivers are a little bit cheaper and give you a little bit more room to get some of the mid-tier guys in to try and boost up your score. So.
Well, I know one of the guys you just mentioned there, Carl Edwards. I'm sure he is just chomping at the bit to get something because he's got nothing going on this.
No, he's not.
And USA Today was just saying that he's one of the most vulnerable bubble guys right now going into the chase.
Yes.
So
I was just going to mention that.
In some respects, Carl Edwards, I don't, from a fantasy standpoint, is it a good move or not a good move? I don't,
Well, because he's been, so-so this season.
Right.
He's been getting good finishes, but not stellar finishes.
Right.
His fantasy value is a little bit lower.
Yeah.
So, when you're trying to budget your $1, team, he's actually a good value.
Okay, I got it.
You may get a good return on it.
Right.
But what we're talking, to go kind of back to the point standings, if you look at the point standings, Carl Edwards is 11th with no wins. Kyle Busch is 12th. Ryan Newman is 13th. they've each got a win, so they're sitting on the 2 wild card spots.
Correct.
So Carl Edwards actually needs to win this race.
Yes, he does.
Or
at
get
least
one
something
in
coming in soon. Yeah.
Otherwise
There's only 10 races left.
Yeah. Now I think he's only he's within 20 points of 10th place.
Yeah.
But still, get a win in, and you probably won't have to worry about that.
Right.
So.
All right, there's our NASCAR wrap. You couldn't have gotten any more thorough information than what you just got there. Let's go over and get our weekly look at Major League Baseball news, and what kind of improbable things do we have coming up for this week? Well, hey, Sidekick, one of them is one that you and I talked about in this very room last Sunday as we sat here watching the Phils game, and that's Cliff Lee.
Yep.
This guy, he's been a dominant and a dominating pitcher for the past number of years. Mm-hmm. And just my personal opinion, there have been numerous times I would have ranked him actually higher than Roy Halladay. But this season, Cliff Lee is currently 0-4 in 12 games started. And and has a 3.72 ERA. Now that's just about as improbable as you can get. And frankly, I think for Phils fans, personally, I think you just got to think that it can't continue that way through the second half of the season.
No. I mean...
No.
Hopefully after the All-Star break, some time off.
Exactly.
Maybe
something.
And with Utley coming back.
Lee's pitching tomorrow night, so maybe we can get one in under our belt at that point. So question, who have we mentioned more on this weekly segment? Has it been Bryce Harper, Jamie Moyer, or Manny Ramirez?
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know, but I'm going to tell you I think Jamie Moyer might just get the prize after tonight. He apparently requested release at the end of last week from the Baltimore Orioles, citing that he didn't feel the team was serious enough about bringing him up from the minor leagues. Now, Orioles manager Buck Showalter indicated after that, like immediately after that, he didn't understand it. Moyer, he said Moyer was just a couple of days away from being pulled up. Now, that's management talk.
Yeah.
But there goes Moyer leaving the second team of the season. And hey, he no sooner leaves that one, he's on to his third. Yep, Toronto Blue Jays, where he signed a minor league assignment. I don't know. It seems to be maybe. Should Jamie just consider,
this is like T.O. going to the CFL, man. That's exactly, we're going to see him get a 50
or the Arena Football League. The Arena, all right. All right, it's no secret that Philadelphia fans, it doesn't matter what sport, we get a bad rap in the national media. This story, though, comes from San Francisco. Local authorities, San Francisco now, local authorities called off the search on Tuesday for a 27-year-old Dodgers fan who attended the Dodgers-Giants game at AT&T Park in San Fran. It's believed the gentleman dressed in a Dodgers blue jacket, apparently that's what he was seen wearing, ended up in the San Francisco Bay, and he may now be sleeping with the fishes.
Wow.
Dodgers fans, you may want to consider maybe perhaps disguising yourself when you go out to AT&T Park. No, I don't know. I don't want to give the impression that any San Fran fan did that. Apparently, police indicate that the man they believe had been drinking and fell off the pier. So, but.
That's right, that took the wrong week for drinking.
Yeah, I guess he did. On Monday, the Wall Street Journal had a report about historical Chicago's Wrigley Field, which specifically referenced the visitors' clubhouse. In the article, they quoted from New York Mets left fielder Jason Bay. Now, I think maybe we ought to consider the source. Throughout the entire story. In fact, he was the only one that actually had any quotes in it. But the article stated, and this is from the article, quote, talking about Wrigley Field's visitors clubhouse. The clubhouse, which was last renovated in 1990, is more notable for what it lacks than what it offers. There's no cafeteria, no TV lounge, no video room, and no couches.
Oh, well, cry me a frickin' river.
The only indoor batting cage is under the bleachers in right field. And while players are free to use the Cubs' weight room, the visiting clubhouse offers only a stationary bike. It's all about amenities today, huh? Is that what it's
I was going to say that
I mean, seriously.
I mean, if I'm a home team, do you think I'm going to outfit the visitors' clubhouse with top-of-the-line stuff? No, that's a competitive edge, man.
Prima donna's baby. I don't know. All right. Things over at the Colorado Rockies just get more and more interesting, I guess. Last week we reported that the Rockies were going with a 4-man pitching rotation with a strict 75-pitch count. Talk about going from feast to famine, or maybe we would say the other way around, famine to feast. This week, pitching coach Bob Abadaka truly, this is I'm not exaggerating on the story. He went into general manager Dan O'Dowd's office and literally threw his hands in the air and said, "Reassign me." He had it. Well, O'Dowd did just that, and then replaced Abadaka with not one, but 2 pitching coaches. Why? Well, the Rockies, who haven't had a win from a starting pitcher in over 3 weeks, indicated last week that they were going to go unconventional, and their pattern is continuing, according to USA Today. Quote, "By season's end, O'Dowd envisions the club will have an 11-starter staff and will only get more creatives in September when rosters expand to 40 players. This is not a temporary experiment. O'Dowd insists it will stay around all year and perhaps much longer. If we get into the postseason," O'Dowd said, "of a club currently 14 games out of first place, you might be shocked by what we do." Shocked? Really?
Bipolar much? Xanax, anyone?
Is anybody out there looking for a new GM?
Medicated.
I don't know. Alrighty, and one more final baseball story, although I'm not putting it under the Improbables. It comes from the President of the United States. President Obama is a big sports fan, and frankly, I love it. And he's unabashed as well about being a Chicago homer, which I think is great. So the other day, while giving a campaign speech at a fundraiser in Boston, he made reference to the recent trade of Kevin Youkilis to the Chicago White Sox, and it is just too funny. Go ahead, you can hit that.
And finally, boss, I just want to thank you for Youkilis. I should not have brought up baseball. I understand. My mistake. You got to know your crowd.
Listen, whether you like the guy or not, you got to give him credit, all right?
He's got some jokes.
I love the fact this guy's a sports fan. I mean, we got to find a way to get him to follow us on YouTube or, like us on our Facebook page. Something. I mean, I love the fact he's a sports fan. I think it's great. All right, let's go over and take a look at our league standings. There's only been one little change this week, and that's in the AL. The Yankees continue to be the best team. Now they're the best team in baseball. They're 5 games in front of the Orioles. In the Central, we saw a little bit of a change there again. Now the White Sox, Chicago White Sox, have retaken control of the first spot, and they're 2.5 games ahead of the Cleveland Indians. And the Texas Rangers continue to be 4.5 games in front of the Angels. In the National League, the Washington Nationals are 3.5 games ahead of the Atlanta Braves in the East. And the Cincinnati Reds are 2 in front of the Pirates in the Central. Dodgers cooled off a lot this past week.
Well,
they were 4.5 games. They were 4.5 games up last week when we made this report. Yeah. Well, yeah.
So I'd say they cooled off a little bit.
No, they were 4.5 games in front last week when we did the show. Yep. They are now dead even, all right, with the San Francisco Giants. So they've had quite,
wow.
Yeah, I guess that rivalry really got, yeah. Woo. All righty, and that's our wrap for baseball for this week. Sidekick, we got soccer being played, feels like all around the world, huh?
Yeah.
On every continent, and you're going to give us a little bit of a quick
since we don't
soccer wrap-up here, huh?
Since we don't have American football to talk about, we're going to talk about some other football.
All right, you got the Euro.
Talk about some soccer. So we've got the Euro 2012 going on right now. Spain just the other day defeated Portugal in a 0-0 shootout to advance to the finals.
Oh my gosh, that's been riveting.
Oh, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Actually, I mean, it's probably
no.
pretty exciting being 0-0 versus the game we saw this past weekend was kind of a blowout.
Well,
anyway, I digress.
It's American. I didn't mind.
This afternoon, though, Italy beat Germany 2-1 to advance to the finals. So now, I believe it's Sunday, we're going to see Spain taking on Italy
right.
for the Cup.
Who's the favorite?
I'm going to go with Italy because Spain hasn't beaten Italy since 1920.
Okay. Well,
So,
all right.
and ironically, Germany hasn't had a win against Italy in any kind of cup-type competition. So, you know.
We got some things going on in MLS.
And we got MLS. Well, it's not quite MLS, but it is American soccer. We've got the 2012 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Semifinals are coming up here in 2 weeks. We just had the quarterfinals. My Philadelphia Union have advanced to the semifinals. They'll be taking on Sporting KC, who they just took on.
We just saw that.
Not Cup, but regular MLS schedule.
Yep.
This past week. They'll be playing on the 11th with the winner advancing to the finals. And then Chivas USA is going up against the Seattle Sounders on July 10th. And the winner of that game then will advance to meet the winner of the Union Sporting KC for the finals in August.
Now, when's that final again for Europe?
I believe it's Sunday.
Okay, so we'll be giving you an update on that one. I'm sure Sidekick will be coming back and giving you an update on how that all ended up next week. Listen, before we close it out for this evening, we need to do a couple of shout-outs. First one goes out to the folks at the Philadelphia Sports News website, Philadelphia.com, and particularly our Facebook fan, Frank Close. I posted up a new column on our Facebook page, the Frat House Facebook page, on Monday.
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Where I ranted about the hype that's being made over MLB's addition of a second wildcard team. And I just think it's way too overblown. Well, Tuesday morning, Philadelphia.com picked up my column. And I sincerely appreciate that. I think it's terrific, and I thank them, and I thank Frank for that plug there. That was great. And next week, I may have a major announcement about another website that you're going to be seeing the Frat House, and Frat House might writing for a lot more consistently. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Woo. Finally, a shout out to our friends over at FanJunkies.net. You got to get over there. I know you haven't done it yet. You haven't done it. I know you haven't. You got to get over there. You got to jump on it. Social media site. Just like Facebook, it's fabulous. Sidekick and I are on there all the time. It is too much fun. You got to get over there. Sign up with Fan Junkies, please. We'd love to have you, please. Right? All right, we got a holiday coming up. July 4th is this coming Wednesday. So we want to wish you have a great holiday. Hey, but understand this, that's not going to stop us from being back here at our regular time next week. We're not going to take a holiday. We're going to be right back here at our regular time. You got to keep us real in the meantime. You got to keep us live. You got to keep us going. See you there.
Heat are once again NBA champions. LeBron James captures that elusive title he so desperately coveted.